Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Unlock English. In this lesson, we continue practicing real-life English. You will hear one sentence. Then, I will explain it in simple, natural English. After that, you will repeat the sentence. Let's get started. Now let's begin with our first category. This one is about shopping. These are sentences you use in stores, shops, or when buying something. They are very common. Let's begin. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. We say this when we enter a store but do not want to buy yet. Listen again. I'm just looking. Now you repeat. Perfect. Here is the next one. How much is this? How much is this? We say this to ask about the price of something. Listen again. How much is this? Now you repeat. Very good. That's a good price. That's a good price. We say this when we feel the price is reasonable. Listen again. That's a good price. Now you repeat. Nice work. That's too expensive. That's too expensive. We say this when the price feels high. Listen again. That's too expensive. Now you repeat. Good. Do you have this in another size? Do you have this in another size? We say this when we want a different size. Listen again. Do you have this in another size? Now you repeat. Very good. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. We say this when we decide to buy something. Listen again. I'll take this one. Now you repeat. Nice. I'll pay by card. I'll pay by card. We say this when we want to pay without cash. Listen again. I'll pay by card. Now you repeat. Good. Can I get a receipt? Can I get a receipt? We say this when we want proof of purchase. Listen again. Can I get a receipt? Now you repeat. All right, let's go to the last one in this category. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. We say this when we are not ready to decide yet. Listen again. I'll think about it. Now you repeat. Great job. Let's move on. Now let's talk about food and coffee. These are sentences you use in cafes, restaurants, or when ordering food. Let's begin. I'm feeling hungry. I'm feeling hungry. We say this when we want to eat. Listen again. I'm feeling hungry. Now you repeat. Perfect. I'd like a coffee, please. I'd like a coffee, please. We say this when ordering politely. Listen again. I'd like a coffee, please. Now you repeat. Very good. Can I see the menu? Can I see the menu? We say this before ordering food. Listen again. Can I see the menu? Now you repeat. Nice work. I'll have this one. I'll have this one. We say this when choosing from the menu. Listen again. I'll have this one. Now you repeat. Good. That looks good. That looks good. We say this when food looks appealing. Listen again. That looks good. Now you repeat. Very good. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. We say this while eating or drinking something we like. Listen again. I'm enjoying this. Now you repeat. Nice. Can I get the bill, please? Can I get the bill, please? We say this when we want to pay. Listen again. Can I get the bill, please? Now you repeat. Good. That was delicious. That was delicious. We say this after eating good food. Listen again. That was delicious. Now you repeat. All right, let's go to the last one in this category. I'll come back again. I'll come back again. We say this when we liked the place. Listen again. I'll come back again. Now you repeat. Excellent. Let's move on. Now let's talk about phones and messages. These are sentences you use when calling, texting, or talking about messages. Let's begin. I'll call you later. I'll call you later. We say this when we cannot talk now. Listen again. I'll call you later. Now you repeat. Perfect. I just sent you a message. I just sent you a message. We say this after sending a text. Listen again. I just sent you a message. Now you repeat. Very good. Did you get my message? Did you get my message? We say this to check if someone received it. Listen again. Did you get my message? Now you repeat. Nice work. I'll reply soon. I'll reply soon. We say this when we need time to respond. Listen again. I'll reply soon. Now you repeat. Good. Sorry, I missed your call. Sorry, I missed your call. We say this when we didn't answer the phone. Listen again. Sorry, I missed your call. Now you repeat. Very good. The signal is bad. The signal is bad. We say this when the connection is weak. Listen again. The signal is bad. Now you repeat. Nice. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We say this when audio is unclear. Listen again. Can you hear me? Now you repeat. Good. Let's talk later. Let's talk later. We say this to postpone a conversation. Listen again. Let's talk later. Now you repeat. All right, let's go to the last one in this category. Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling. We say this to be polite after a call. Listen again. Thanks for calling. Now you repeat. Great job. Let's continue. Now let's talk about appointments and time. These are sentences you use when planning, waiting, or talking about schedules. Let's begin. I have an appointment today. I have an appointment today. We say this when we have a scheduled meeting. Listen again. I have an appointment today. Now you repeat. Perfect. What time works for you? What time works for you? We say this when planning with someone. Listen again. What time works for you? Now you repeat. Very good. Let's meet at 3. Let's meet at 3. We say this to suggest a time. Listen again. Let's meet at 3. Now you repeat. Nice work. I'll be there on time. I'll be there on time. We say this to promise punctuality. Listen again. I'll be there on time. Now you repeat. Good. I need to reschedule. I need to reschedule. We say this when we need a different time. Listen again. I need to reschedule. Now you repeat. Very good. I'm running a bit early. I'm running a bit early. We say this when we arrive before the time. Listen again. I'm running a bit early. Now you repeat. Nice. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for waiting. We say this to be polite when someone waited. Listen again. Thanks for waiting. Now you repeat. Good. That works for me. That works for me. We say this when we agree with a plan. Listen again. That works for me. Now you repeat. All right, let's go to the last one in this category. See you then. See you then. We say this to end planning politely. Listen again. See you then. Now you repeat. Excellent. Let's move on to the final category. Now let's talk about evening plans. These are sentences you use later in the day when things slow down. Let's begin. I'm done for today. I'm done for today. We say this when work or tasks are finished. Listen again. I'm done for today. Now you repeat. Perfect. I'm heading home. I'm heading home. We say this when we are going back home. Listen again. I'm heading home. Now you repeat. Very good. I need to relax. I need to relax. We say this when we want rest. Listen again. I need to relax. Now you repeat. Nice work. I'll take it easy tonight. I'll take it easy tonight. We say this when we plan a calm evening. Listen again. I'll take it easy tonight. Now you repeat. Good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We say this when we feel positive about the next day. Listen again. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Now you repeat. Very good. That sounds like a good plan. That sounds like a good plan. We say this when we agree with an idea. Listen again. That sounds like a good plan. Now you repeat. Nice. I'll get some rest. I'll get some rest. We say this when we plan to sleep or relax. Listen again. I'll get some rest. Now you repeat. Good. It was a good day. It was a good day. We say this when we feel satisfied with the day. Listen again. It was a good day. Now you repeat. All right, let's go to the last one in this category. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. We say this to say goodbye at the end of the day. Listen again. See you tomorrow. Now you repeat. Great job! You've just completed episode 2. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode, right here on Unlock English.